What scares you the most when you get to know that you failed your exams? Do you worry about what your friends, parents, or others might think about you? Or do you worry that you will never be able to recover from the failure? Is it more of a shame that you feel, or is it pain? Or do you think of taking a drastic step? I am always heartbroken when I come across information that kids have taken drastic measures after failing their exams. Maybe they did not have anyone to protect them from others and mostly from their thoughts. Maybe that they did not have anyone telling them that it is okay to fail and there is always a second chance to correct the mistakes. And so, I decided to make a video so students understand that their life is a lot valuable as compared to a bad result. Every student can achieve anything they want if they put their hearts and mind to it, and there is so much more they can do with their life if they learn from their mistakes and rectify them the next time. And through this video, if I am successful in making a difference to even one student, I would consider myself blessed. My name is Latha, an International Coaching Federation certified success coach and certified NLP master practitioner. And in this video, I will help you understand that failure in your exams is not the end of life. In fact, this could be your biggest learning, helping you become more focused on what you want to achieve in your life. Speaking from experience, a large part of the emotion is the shame that students feel when they fail their exams. Constant thoughts regarding how to face the people around them with a devastating result will continue to haunt a student's mind for quite a while. The hesitance and the shame that students face while disclosing their failed results cannot be described in simple words. A few will hide their faces from everyone and lock themselves up in their own space, or some students take drastic measures so they do not have to face the humiliation ever. Now, feeling bad about failing in your exams is a normal emotion, but taking drastic measures which has a large impact is a big no-no. You need to know that every single individual has faced failures in their life. For students, it could be failing at their exams. For adults, it could be failing at a job interview, failing at their work, failing at their business, failing in their personal life, and this list can go on. And why am I telling you this? Because as a student, failing in your exam is not the end of the world. And as you head into adulthood, there are a lot of challenges that you will come across, and you need to be aware that you might not succeed in everything that you do, and you might not get everything that you want. How many times then will you keep trying to find shortcuts to end the disappointments? Escaping from something is not a solution at all, but the solution lies in facing the problem and trying to figure out how to overcome and win over it. You need to understand that every single one of us is always going to be compared with someone else and judged by the people around us. This is the way of life. So, if you are getting compared and judged, take it with a pinch of salt and learn to ignore it. And if people are talking about you and giving you advice, learn to listen to everything they say. Some of the best advices might come in the rudest form, and I can vouch for it. So, do not react. Positively take the advice and ignore anything that might be hurtful. And do what you ideally should do, that is, start planning to do better in your exams the next time. Okay, let me ask you something. Why do we feel bad? We feel bad only when we care about something. We feel bad when we expect something good to happen instead of a bad thing happening. Now, think of it. If you did not care about passing your exams or getting awesome marks, do you think failing or not doing well would even matter to you? I don't think so. If you didn't care, you would just not be bothered about the results, would you? The reason you feel the pain of failing is because you cared and because you expected the results to be a good one. The thought of not getting what you wanted is what causes the pain. Unless the thoughts of failures get away from your mind, you will continue to feel the pain. Getting emotional about a bad result is very human. All of us feel bad when things don't work our way. We sometimes cry, unable to handle the failure, and sometimes stay quiet, not knowing how to proceed with the failure. All such emotions and reactions are acceptable because we are all humans and we are created with emotions. So, if you want to cry, feel sad, be quiet, vent it out to your family and friends, all these are perfectly fine. And by letting out the emotions, you are only clearing up your mind. And once your mind clears up, you will then be able to identify what went wrong and then put plans in place to correct the mistakes from not happening the second time. Understand and believe that you always have a second chance at everything. In fact, you have multiple chances to set things right. Now, why should you believe that there are second chances in life? Or not just a second chance, but life will provide you a lot of opportunities to succeed? Because that is the truth. And maybe at this tender age, with less exposure to life, you are not aware. And if you want to know, then I suggest look around and see for yourself. Look at your parents, your friends, your teachers, your lecturers, movie personalities, sports personals, all the people around you, sportsmen, businessmen, entrepreneurs. Look at people in your surroundings and try to find one person whose life has been filled with success after success. I am sure you will not be able to find any, and this is the truth. Most of the time, when you talk to people, you will hear only their stories of success. That is because most of them like to project only their success stories, unlike the very few who would feel comfortable talking about everything that they failed at. And also, some people like to focus only on successes and not on the failures. They have learned to move on from the failures, and rather than brooding over their failures, they have carried valuable lessons from the failures, making them stronger and wiser. So, how can you follow the same in your life? Firstly, you need to realize that failing at something is not the end of the world. At every single step of your life, you need to understand that you will face challenges. You will certainly not get everything that you ask for. You will not be liked by everyone. You will not be accepted with open arms by everyone. And a lot more things such as this will follow you throughout your life. What you do with it is your decision. You can either run and hide from it or start looking at how you can tackle this. You should understand that you cannot always win, but you should always try and never give up. You should always take things head on, which means do not hide, but face the challenges when it comes. Now, there are only two outcomes when you face the challenges. Either you will overcome the challenge or you will fail at it. And both of these outcomes are your lessons for the future. When you win or overcome the challenge, you learn how to face such challenges if they occur in the future. And if you fail, you learn that either you should try harder again or that certain things are not meant for you which is worthy enough, and so you should learn to move on and learn to ignore and head in another direction. When it comes to bad results, vent out your emotions as long as you want, but ensure you never give up the second time. You need to take it up as a challenge to win. Rework your study strategy. You should identify what went wrong the last time and ensure that you fix the gaps and come out with flying colors. But never give up when it comes to your studies, because they are the foundation of your future. The more knowledge you gain, the more successful you will become in your life. No education, no knowledge, and no knowledge, darker your future. Next thing, ignore what everyone says about you and your results. Do not get carried away with your emotions of failure that it becomes difficult to recover. You should learn to have control over your emotions and not let your emotions control you. And how do you do this? By telling yourself that the next time you are going to ensure that you have amazing results. By telling yourself that everyone has faced failures in their life and they are what they are only because they overcame the failure when life offered them a second chance. By telling yourself that you are stronger than this one small failure. By learning to ignore what people say or think about you, and by telling yourself that you will prove all these people wrong. By apologizing to your parents that this will not happen again and asking them to keep the faith in you. And lastly, by telling yourself that you are going to work harder than earlier and not do the same mistakes as you did in the past. The next thing is to figure out what happened that led to the bad results. Sometimes we think that we are working hard, but we actually do not. We lie to ourselves telling that we are working hard, but that might not be true. Studying is not just about reading, but gaining the knowledge and understanding everything that we study. You can study for 5 hours a day and not fully understand or learn what you might have studied, or you can study for just 2 hours and you can gain all the knowledge that is required. So, learn to differentiate between reading and learning. You are the only one who would know if you have gained the knowledge. So, working hard is not putting in long hours, but putting in the required number of hours, but ensuring that you have learnt everything in those hours. Stay focused when you study and avoid distractions. If you are not able to focus, then there is my video Impossible to Focus, and it teaches you to develop the habit of focusing. Now, I have heard students say it is a tough paper. I agree. Sometimes the topics we least give attention to ends up coming for the exams. But what about the rest of the questions? A few questions being tough is normal. But if every question seems tough to you, you need to think about how much learning and knowledge did you gain from the topics. So, time to get practical. It is not the number of hours you put into your studies, but it is how productive you have been in those few hours that you studied. Constantly looking at mobiles, responding to chats, calling friends during your study hours is a big no and will not help you at all in securing the marks you intend to achieve. So, while you are studying, ensure your mind is focused only on studies and keep all the distractions away. The next thing is to ensure that you do not take your exams this time lightly. Remember, You have taken this up as a challenge. You have another opportunity to prove yourself. So, come up with a good plan on how to pass with flying colors. By now, you should already know all the things that led you to fail, like not giving your studies priority, getting associated with wrong friends, wasting too much time on social media, too much binge watching, too much TV, last minute rush to study, not taking your exam seriously, aiming to just pass the exam and not excel at it, pretending to be studying and not studying, not focusing in class, too much fun in life, etc. If your reasons are a part of this list, then you know what to do. You need to stop repeating what you did earlier. Once you have decided that you will prove your mettle this time, you cannot just make the statement and sit idle. If you sit idle and do nothing, then be rest assured that the results are not going to be any different as compared to what it was earlier. So, you need to make changes to yourself and your lifestyle if you want to see changes in your results too. Getting rid of all the things that are coming in the way of your studies would be the wisest choice to make. Make a solid schedule, and if you want to know how, watch my video on time management. Also, adherence to the schedule is most important. Having a great schedule and not following it is not acceptable at all. Once a schedule is made, you need to adhere to it. You are doing this for a purpose, aren't you? You want to prove to yourself and the others that you want to be successful, isn't it? So, after making a solid schedule, learn to adhere to it. And the last thing is for you to ask yourself, what is it that I want? Would you want the same result, the same taunts from people, hiding your face, hiding from others, feeling shameful, feeling angry, feeling the pain, or do you want to be able to proudly tell yourself that you succeeded and your results are a testimony to it? If you want to be able to proudly say that you passed with flying colors, then it is high time you start putting your learnings from this video into practice. Also, achieving high marks isn't really hard if you learn to identify how to go about it. And if you find it difficult to identify your challenges to overcome them, you can get in touch with me. Also, I have developed programs to improve memory and concentration, which will help you retain information, learn complex concepts in a short period of time, and you do not have to sit for long hours to study. I can also teach you techniques that will help you improve your ability to think and understand concepts a lot easier. So, every subject and its concepts become easier for you to understand.